What is up, everybody? Welcome out to our Sunday night live stream. I am Buck. This is Justin.
Hey.
I want to see how everybody's doing tonight. It is a hot, humid, almost rainforest-like temperature here in the Northeast. It's actually raining right now, so that's cool, man. Maybe some of this goddamn humidity will disappear, dude, because it is goddamn hot.
I mean, I think it's supposed to storm pretty significantly.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like we already got some people on. We got Jesse, we got Sarah, we got our moderator, Nikki. Welcome out, welcome out. We got some cool stuff to talk about tonight. I'm trying to get amped up, man. I'm shot in the ass. I'm pretty tired. Long, crazy weekend for myself. And, you know, man, we got some cool stuff to talk about. We even got some historical stuff pertaining to the subjects that we have today. So that's even makes it even cooler, man. Justin's dug a little stuff out of his personal library to touch on some of these subjects that we got tonight. Excuse me while I burp and try to turn away from the microphone. That's what I get for swigging Pepsi before I start this.
Very kind of you, Buck.
Yeah, you know, I try to be polite when I can, dude.
Yeah.
So, just a quick heads up for subscribers. I am currently working on a Cliff Raven episode, and I am also working on an Ignorant Tattoo episode. I did try to finish it this week, but my mom had a little bit of setback and did not accomplish that. So she had to get taken away yesterday by ambulance, which was, you know, not fun. But, you know, she's in a hospital. She's probably going to be looking a little bit better by tomorrow. We'll see. And
God willing.
We'll go from there, man. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Because I really want to get episodes out. And it just seems like every time I go and I get, like, you know what I mean? Like, something happens and I get drawn away from it, which shit happens, man. It's part of life, right? But I did almost 95% of my research is done on the Cliff Raven thing. So I almost said Cliff Clavin. Wasn't that the dude from Cheers, the mailman?
Maybe.
I think it was, man.
So years ago, I found a book in the library called The Tattooist, which was written by a guy named Morse. And it was a book of photographs of guys from the late 70s, early 80s. And with little blurbs. Each guy, you know, some of them told stories. And Raven was in it. And the thing that Raven was quoted as saying was, I view myself as more of a craftsman than an artist. I always thought that was interesting.
You know, there is a lot of cool stuff about him that I think a lot of people don't know about because he's kind of considered to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it should be a pretty interesting episode for a lot of people to catch.
Yeah, and for years, he actually, in the Spalding production catalogs, he had a set of Flash in there.
Yeah, well, he had his own tattoo company, too. I don't want to give, or tattoo supply company. I don't want to give too much of my stuff out, and then nobody's going to watch. But, you know, what kind of really turned me on to digging into deeper to him, and then we'll get off the subject so I don't give away too much info, but was he was considered to be one of the first guys that was, like, stringent about gloves. And there's a reason behind that, but we'll get into that during the episode.
Him and Phil Sparrow.
Yeah. And there's a reason.
Yeah.
We'll leave you hanging with that.
So just not, in a sense, to keep talking about Cliff Raven, it is funny to me that at one point the black and white sheets that Spalding put out, they were so unwanted, the company was giving them away. You got like a bunch of them with your tattoo supply kit.
Right.
And now these same sheets that were being given away 20, 25 years ago are online anywhere from, you know, $10 to $15 to $20 each. It's amazing.
Yeah. So let's get into our topics for the evening.
Evening.
Trying to talk right, man. Just words are not coming out of my mouth properly today. which is actually every week. We also have Shiro Kimba is stopped in. What's up, Shiro?
What's up?
Hola. All right. So, how many of you out there in internet land saw the topic for this video today or this live stream today and had an immediate reaction? Show of hands, real quick. Anyone out there? Shiro, Sarah, Jesse, anyone? You may have not even noticed. You just log in and hang out. So Nikki says yes. All right.
So I actually have a story about this.
All right. So Sarah's got her hand up.
I have a story about this topic that's sort of interesting.
Okay.
I had a friend or somebody I knew, and she liked to she liked to drink. She was a drinker, right? So one time as a joke, I posted pictures of myself tattooing my dog. Like I put my dog in the chair and I had the machine, but I didn't have any needles in it or anything. But I had the cord running, you know what I mean? And I posted them on Facebook, and she lost her fucking mind.
So
she lost her mind, dude. I had to DM her like, it's just a joke. I would never tattoo my dog. I mean, unless he asked, you know.
So I'm hoping that the initial impact of this title, whether we get viewers today or not, they could view it later, but they click on this because their instant reaction is, what the F, man? Who is tattooing their animal? I actually specifically put in there that we're not talking about like a husband and wife or a girlfriend and a boyfriend or a girlfriend and girlfriend or a boyfriend and boyfriend that are getting like matching tattoos of their pet chihuahua. We are actually talking about getting a tattoo on your pet along that matches the tattoo that your pet got. Now, here's the caveat of this whole thing. I don't know if this is worldwide or not, but here in the United States, if your dog has been neutered or spayed, the dog will actually get a tattoo of a line or a dot somewhere on their belly to show that they've been spayed or neutered.
Right.
So this person, and I'm going to bring it up real quick just so everybody can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to have to probably, how about not show that?
I was just thinking about the Jeopardy.
Here is, woman spends $35 to get matching tattoo with her dog.
Wow.
She asked the vet to tattoo a flower on her spayed or neutered dog.
So the dog.
Wait, if it's a female, it's neutered? Spayed.
So the dog was getting tattooed anyways.
Right, because they got spayed.
Right. So instead of the vet just doing a dot,
she did a little flower.
little daisy.
And then the chick decided to go get the tattoo of the daisy herself.
Nice.
Like I said, my initial thing was, what the F, dude? Like, don't torture an animal. That's wrong. Dude, I know a lot of you people out here in the internet world don't know me, but I'm a pretty mellow, casual dude. But you want to see instant, angry, pissy, walk up and punch you in the mouth for out of nowhere, abuse your dog or pet, your wife or your kid in front of me. I don't care if I'm going to get my ass handed to me or not. I will defend the defenseless.
Right.
That's just, it's in my DNA. So when I initially saw this, I got instantly like, what the, you know what I mean? I was pissed. And then I saw it and I was like, okay, I get it. But I also went, that's weird. I don't know, man. That's weird.
For some reason, the fact that the dog was going to be tattooed anyways as part of a medical procedure mitigates it for me. Like if somebody just brought a dog in to get tattooed.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
definite no-no.
So interestingly enough,
Wait, before you get to that though,
all right.
because there is one more little piece to this.
One more piece
that I want to talk about before we get into this, because
Right,
I think this is awesome too, and this deserves a discussion. I've also seen where people have done this, and they've gotten the tattoo that their spayed or neutered dog has gotten, and it's a symbol. Not realizing it's the symbol for spayed or neutered, and then they got it and didn't find out until after they got the tattoo. They were walking around with the symbol of spayed or neutered on their freaking arm.
I want to do that
You
now.
dumbass. Well,
I want to do that on purpose.
Are you neutered?
No, but I just think, in the same way.
If you get a vasectomy, are you gonna?
No, in the same way, I've always wanted to go to a Chinese restaurant and get like the symbol for like egg
roll?
noodles tattooed on me, and then lie when people ask, "What does that mean?" Oh, it means enlightenment. Oh, it means way of strength. Oh, it means this. It means that. When really, it means sweet and sour chicken. I think that would be hilarious.
How many people are walking around right now with
sweet and sour chicken?
Kung Fu chicken or Kung Pao chicken on their arm, thinking it's some freaking.
I heard stories.
I've heard, yeah, same.
Yeah.
And the other question that I have to ask is, are there Chinese people walking around with like white or like English people words
Right.
tattooed on them?
Probably not.
I must said white, like that's a Jesus. I meant like English words.
English words.
Jesus. I must fucking head
Oops.
first right into that Yankee Alpha YouTube poll. All right, so let's get into Drag. What's up, man? Hola, amigo.
Okay.
On that note, while we're still on the air,
So, a guy named Zeiss,
Milton Zeiss.
Milton Zeiss, was a tattoo supplier. And one of the things he did, this is from 1947, is he put out this magazine, Tattooing the World Over. Right? And one of the articles in this is with medical use for tattooing, beauty and tattooing, is tattooing animals, right? Because at the time, because there were no implants, there were no
Microchips.
microchips. There were two uses for it: to identify a pure, like a purebred animal,
Right.
for a particular kennel, but also if you were a person that was a furrier, a person that used pelts.
That's a completely different term now.
Yeah, furrier. Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah. So if you worked in leather, or you made any kind of like
Like your tan and hides and stuff.
tan and hides.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Not the dudes walking around with furry costumes.
No.
Okay.
But hey,
Whatever, man.
yeah.
Whatever floats your boat, dude.
But the crazy thing about it is Zeiss said that was a viable way to make money. So he wasn't only selling people tattoo machines to tattoo people. He was selling people tattoo machines for the purpose of tattooing livestock and dogs.
Okay.
I mean really, just a different time.
Yeah. I mean, we're so used to hearing about people doing branding of livestock,
Right.
right? But I guess at some point they could have, but you're saying it's more like dogs and...
Yeah, so what it says in here is
Make sure you're talking into the mic.
animals such as chinchillas, rabbits, foxes, dogs. Tattoo them on the inside of the ear. He makes some suggestions about tattooing females with odd numbers, males with even numbers. It's also to identify the pups for a particular mated pair.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What when was that put out?
1947. So about 80 years ago.
Okay. So I mean, lot of stuff has changed in that short period of time. I think that you know, you're a dog lover, I'm a dog lover. You know, to me, it's like, you know, like when I see anybody joking around about the tattooing animals or tattooing babies or little kids, you know what I mean? It's like, what the hell, dude? But, you know, there's also been a time back in the day where, you know, young kids, 12, 11, 10, were getting tattooed. It's not acceptable in this day and age. But, you know, back in the early 1900s, there were people. I mean, I think Burt Grimm, actually, because just popped in my mind because I just saw it on that page. But I think when I did his episode, they talked about him getting tattooed at 11 or 12.
Yeah, I mean, 11 or 12, you were potentially a grown man.
So we got some comments here, which is cool. I wanted this to...
I was looking at an article about tattoo removal. He was talking about how people were using boric acid.
Wait, what?
Zeiss
Okay.
had an article in here about tattoo removal because he claimed to have an alternative to the customary procedure at the time, which was boric acid.
Wow. So Nikki said the dog was under anesthesia and getting tatted anyway. I would probably do this. I love my baby girl. Drag said, I not want to tattoo my dog. He is too big. Sarah said, I agree with Nikki. Under these very specific conditions and circumstances, I actually don't see any problem with it. Kind of a cute idea as long as things don't get carried away. And then Jesse just jumped right head first into the next pond and said, I got tattooed at 12. My mom took me.
It would figure.
Yeah.
It would figure.
And now he's an apprentice. He's trying to make his way in the world today.
You know,
With everything he's got.
Actually, I saw a tattooed animal the other day.
What?
Yeah, I was sitting in my living room, and next to my living room window is my neighbor's porch. And on the railing of their porch was this raccoon, man. But it was like a Morrisville raccoon, you know, so it was like all gnarly, and it had like a switchblade, and it had like a baby mama's name on its neck, and it was like menacing me for money.
Wow.
So I told my neighbor, for real, I mean, this raccoon was like, it's a big fucking raccoon. Excuse me, a big raccoon. I told my neighbor, and my neighbor's like, oh, yeah, he lives in the roof. He lives in the roof of the house. I'm like, you have a raccoon the size of a dog living in the roof of your house. It's crazy.
People just do not care. Sarah said a simple flower is one thing, but don't push sizes to where the animal has to feel it healing more. No matching back pieces.
No matching back pieces.
No matching tramp stamps. Yeah, so.
What did Jesse get tattooed on him at 12?
Yeah, Jesse, what was your tattoo at 12? Mighty
Born to
Morphin,
Kill?
Mighty Morphin Power Ranger? One of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
What would you have gotten tattooed on you at 12?
Me?
Yeah. Slayer logo?
At 12? Wait, how old? Wait, when you're 12, what grade are you in?
6th.
Oh, 6th grade?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would have definitely gotten like Rush or Led Zeppelin or some rednecky mullet wearing hick thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, back then when I was that was right when I started to go down south. Like my trajectory had peaked and it just started to nosedive at an alarming rate. That's when I started doing drinking, doing drugs.
Yeah, 12.
So, yeah, man. I mean, it could have been a whole slew of craziness that I would. You know what I mean? All right. Tribal Rasta Lion. My mom picked it off the wall.
Nice.
Tantrum, what's up, man? Tantrum showing up. Yeah, so for 12 years old, it probably would have been like, you know what I mean, like
The Rush guy?
or like the 2112, you know what I mean, or something stupid like that. Metallica. No, yeah. No, I think Metallica was I can't remember when Monsters of Rock came out, but that's Monsters of Rock with Metallica. That was like the first time that they kind of like were like, whoa. big.
Well, I mean, I think when I was 12, it was still Ride the Lightning. I don't think Master of Puppets came out till I was even like 13 or 14.
Yeah, well, so Monsters of Rock would have been Injustice for All tour.
So what's funny is that our friend Dave, hey Dave, don't know if you're watching. If you're not watching,
He watches. He just says I can't comment because I'm on an iPhone and he refuses to use Google products.
nice. So I was just thinking about how one time I did a Census Fail tattooed on this kid. Really, really big. Census Fail was like an emo hardcore band or something. And I thought how lame it was to get a Census Fail tattoo. But I'm constantly trying to talk Dave into getting a back piece of all the different Eddies from Iron Maiden. Like, you know, the
That would actually be
Killers.
pretty cool.
Like the Trooper, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, like all the classic Eddies, man. I think it would just be so dope. So I'll pick on some kid for getting Census Fail. But, you know, Maiden,
Were you a big Iron Maiden fan?
not as much as I was of the art.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were okay. Like the first 3 or 4 albums were okay.
I don't know, man. I just
I was a Dio fan.
there's probably gonna be some pissed off people about this, but I just wasn't a real big I like Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast. Those were cool tunes, but there was too much operatic going on for me, dude. Like I'm like,
So I think there's a song called "The Flight of the Ancient Mariner,"
yeah.
and he holds like a note in that for like it's pretty incredible.
I'm not saying the dude can't sing. I'm just saying, to me, I just
So bear in mind that Buck didn't like Iron Maiden, but go watch some early Rush videos with the elf boots in the trench coats.
oh, dude. The ones that they made where they were in the studio up in Canada,
Right, in like the cabin,
and they're
right?
wearing the kimonos and stuff. Woo. Dude, you know
Sweet.
what's hysterical is they make fun of that on the Trailer Park Boys, where he super glues the chicken on the dude's nose to make him look like Geddy Lee, and then he realizes he uses super glue, and then the dude's like, "What the f, man? You fucking super glued chicken to my face." I love that show, dude.
I've never really. The only thing I know about it is the sea shanty.
Dude. Well, there's great episodes with Rush in it.
Right, because they're Canadian. Are they Canadian?
Yeah. And the Rush, Geddy Lee, and Alex Lifeson were huge fans of Trailer Park Boys, and yeah, dude, there's some funny stuff in there. But
Did you know that Monty Python was financed for its movies by I think the Beatles? I think George Harrison paid. Speaking of rock stars that like, you know, different TV shows or whatever, George Harrison paid for the Holy Grail.
well, they were huge TV show in London or in England.
Yeah, in Britain, yeah.
So I mean, I could see that.
Ministry of Funny Walks.
Dude, the speaking of Dave, he asked me to do an episode, whether it be a live stream or whether it be an actual episode, that I throw on the channel, where I go over, different rock stars' tattoos. And I thought to myself, I don't even know where the hell you would start, and that would be the longest freaking, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many rock stars with different tattoos that where would you stop? You'd have to do it by like era or genre or something just to kind of like, I don't know, man.
So what's funny to me, right, is that Axl Rose had this. I think he still has the same 6 tattoos that he had for Appetite for Destruction. Like he went into the shops on Sunset Strip or whatever and was like, "Give me the heavy metal basic tattoo look," and that's what he got. Whereas the other dude from that band, or not the dude from Guns N' Roses, but Mick Mars. Is it Mick Mars? Mick Mars and from Motley Crue and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue are tatted.
Oh yeah.
Are tatted.
Jesus.
Tatted.
The bass player, Nikki Sixx.
Nikki Sixx.
He dated Kat Von D for a while, so I'm
Huh.
sure he got some free ink out of that craziness relationship. Sarah says, I forgot Sarah's Canadian, so she even says it like the Trailer Park Boys.
A boot?
No, she said in grade 6, I probably would have gotten a tattoo or a turtle or a Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing in Trailer Park Boys. They're always in grade 10. We in U.S.
Yeah, we put the
always
number
say
first.
6th grade,
Yeah.
5th grade. They always just do it in grade 6.
So early tattooed guys, right? Like early tattooed guys, Johnny Winter was tattooed. Bon Scott from AC/DC.
Yeah, dude, he was. Yeah,
Bon Scott had the trashy
yeah.
sweet. It was great stuff.
I mean, we could even get into the whole Janis Joplin with the whole Pat Martinac thing.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was tattooed.
Yes. Oh, dude. Since we're talking about music, and I hope nobody else cares, but hold on. I gotta go over this because I was pretty annoyed when I saw this. It doesn't take much for me to get annoyed about music stuff, but you know.
What's the greatest American band? The Ramones.
Somebody just released the, and I don't know what magazine it was because I was that annoyed that I didn't even snippet the whole thing. I just snippeted. I snipped the whole list. Table of contents, so don't look. Of the 15 greatest guitar players of all time. Go ahead, give me number 1. Sarah said she loves the Trailer Park Boys, by the way. Thank you.
Greatest guitar player, obviously the dude from Rage Against the Machine.
What? Come on, man.
No, I'm only kidding. No, I thought
I feel like you weren't.
No. What I thought you were saying was it was like a lame list, and that they would put somebody like Morella first.
Oh, there's definitely some people in here that I'm like, really?
Greatest guitar player of all time. Rock guitar player.
Guitar player.
Greatest guitar. Django Reinhardt.
Not even on the list.
Clapton.
Number 2.
Jimmy Page.
Number 3.
Hendrix.
Number 1. Those would be your top 3?
My top 3? No, my top 3 would probably be Django, who was considered the greatest acoustic jazz player of all time. Robert Johnson, and I would say Clapton.
Okay. 4, Eddie Van Halen. 5, B.B. King. 6, Chuck Berry. 7, Keith Richards. Well, now you're going to see where I get annoyed with this list. 8, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I would put him way above 8.
9, Jeff Beck. Dude, are you effing kidding me? 9? Carlos Santana is 10.
So
Carlos, you're good. Probably shouldn't be on this list.
So the thing about Jeff Beck, right, that you have to appreciate, is that Jeff Beck is a musician's musician. Like, you know about Jeff Beck because you love music. The majority of people have no idea. They just don't know.
Okay. All right, maybe. But apparently this was done by guitar players. I don't think so. Let me just finish it out because there's only 15.
All right.
11, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits.
Dire Straits.
Who's a really good guitar player, but I don't know if he should be. Brian May, number 12 of Queen.
Has the greatest single riffs. Here, can I wait before you go any further?
Here's where I'm gonna.
So, when it comes to like isolated riffs, like the isolated riff in "We Will Rock You,"
Yeah.
just not the song itself, but that riff is banging. All right, here we go.
Here's where I blow my top.
Yep.
David Gilmour, 13. Are you?
Where would you put David Gilmour?
I would put him above. I would say I would put him above, definitely above Chuck Berry, Keith Richards. I might even put him above Eddie Van Halen. Finish off the list with Prince.
I would put Prince way above that.
Dude, Prince does not get the recognition he deserves, man.
Absolutely.
Angus Young, 15. Really, dude? First of all, and then I'll get off my soapbox. Keith Richards has obviously written 1,000 great songs, hit records, okay? But I wouldn't consider him to be the most proficient, excellent guitar player, so much so that he had to get, what's the dude from Grateful Dead?
Jerry Garcia.
To play Sympathy for the Devil because he couldn't do the recording. It was too intricate for him. So how are you putting him up there at 6?
Because he's
written 1,000 songs?
Yeah, because
that doesn't mean you're a good guitar player.
He's a member of the Rolling Stones. So what's interesting about that?
Stevie Ray Vaughan should be way higher. Sorry.
So, I can't remember what album. You can't always get what you want. I can't remember whether it's off of. I think it's off of Let It Bleed, right? So the first time that I heard Let It Bleed from beginning to end, and you hear the transition from, the transition from the acoustic stuff, or from the choir singing to the acoustic stuff.
Okay.
It really is a sublime moment musically. I mean, it's beautiful, but because we're just hammered with it, right? 4 or 5 times a day, if you listen to a classic rock station, you got to hear that song. It ruins it. It just numbs it out of your mind.
Yeah, well,
I'm not defending Keith Richards as a guitarist, but
I understand how sublime it is in your words, but that's also production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was always under this you want to really learn how good a guitar player is, or see how really good a guitar player is, let him rip live.
Yeah, Dee Dee Ramone wasn't on that list.
Come on now.
You know what? You know who else wasn't on that list? Joe Perry.
Yeah, as well he should not be. I don't know, man. That's one of those things.
Who's the dude from Alice in Chains?
He, as well, should not be on that list. Jerry Cantrell. Okie doke. As we move back into the tattoo world, and we stop talking about music, but it was a good idea, man, as far as doing an episode about rock stars with tattoos. But there's so many of them that it's like, I mean, just today, there was I was trying to do this try to do tattoo news kind of, right? Because I'm always trying to keep up with new stuff that's happening, or whether it's business related or tattoo related or whatever. The top 3 things came up about some chick named JoJo Siwa.
Oh, JoJo Siwa.
Who the hell is that? Dude, that was the top two or 3 things were about the fact that she got a tattoo sleeve.
She got sleeved?
So what? There's a million people every day getting sleeved.
I have a 24-year-old daughter.
I don't even know who the hell she is.
JoJo Siwa was a kid that was on Dance Moms, who briefly sort of became famous and is now desperately trying to hold on to her celebrity. And it's so cringy that people it's like a train wreck.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So I have a 24-year-old. I know about that stuff. So I saw a thing the other day, going back to the guitar player thing, right? So this dude was talking about the 10 best tattooers in the United States, right? Saw a video on YouTube about that.
Okay.
I recognized one name.
Okay.
Because the styles that he was talking about I have no interest in. Do you know what I mean?
So
that
you're saying as far as like music goes, I mean there could be like a bunch of flamenco type guitar players or jazz guitar players or
so like how do you so Nico Hurtado, right?
right,
Photorealistic color work, right? How do you compare him to Mike Chambers, who does
completely different work.
crisp, crisp perfect traditional work? How do you compare those two? I mean, you can compare them technically.
Yeah, but see that's the thing is I feel like all other mediums of art, it's subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective.
Because what I think looks awesome might be completely different from what you think looks awesome, or what Nikki think looks awesome, or Sarah thinks looks awesome, or drag.
Can I
You
show
know
my
what I mean?
picture? Speaking of looking awesome,
Pictures of.
the picture I made.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to start trying to paint again, and I wanted to share my painting with you guys.
But as far as like this whole like who's better, who's not, I mean it really doesn't. You know what I mean?
Do you see that?
Yes.
Oh, let me get the light out of there. Yeah, Endsville Tattoo.
Man, like
I'm hoping to have a segment, Paintings by a Fat Idiot.
dude, you could do a. What was the dude with the afro?
Oh, Bob Ross.
There you go.
Happy little skulls.
There you go.
Happy. You know what he painted? You know what Bob Ross painted, right?
A whole trilogy.
Yeah, where he hid the bodies.
Oh, nice. Right on. But yeah, man, I don't know. See, that's one of the things that where when I started this whole channel out, I never would sit here and be like, oh, that's a great tattoo. That's not a good tattoo. This dude's a great tattoo artist. This dude's
Because it's so subjective.
And first of all, I have no business even saying any of that because I'm not a tattoo artist. Now, if another tattoo artist wants to do that, then that's on them.
So there was a magazine called Skin and Ink, and years ago they tried to do this thing where they only did it one time. They were going to do sort of actually like they called it Ink Master. This was before the show, and they had Bugs in London, who does Japanese work, tattoo I think it was a skull and a serpent, and they had Aaron Bell, who tattoos out of Washington State, Slave to the Needle. And they're both acknowledged as, they're masters of Japanese art, non-Japanese masters of Japanese tattooing.
Okay.
And, they put them both in the magazine next to each other, and people were able to vote.
Okay.
And see that I thought that was interesting. Like if you took guys from similar genres, and
Yeah, because you can't put a traditional artist against some guy that's doing this hyper realism, amazing artwork, and then be like, okay, you're not comparing apples to apples.
No, you're comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's not. It's just completely different wheelhouse, man. And people like different things, and that's the beauty of this whole thing is that there's somebody out there. There's a tattoo artist out there for you. You just got to find him.
I was thinking about getting tattooed by Jeff Raschier at the convention. He's out of San Francisco.
If I'm holding out. Well, once you finish my knee, I'm holding out on getting any ink until I go to Norfolk. Because I think at Norfolk, if I got enough money set aside, that's where I want to continue my my mission of the old school traditional guys that are getting ready to retire, blah blah blah, to finish my leg sleeve.
Nice.
So for me, I'm like, I really don't want to spend any money on anything until that happens. But
so Jeff tattoos out of I think Blackheart in San Francisco, and his work is really influenced by the underground comics of the 1960s.
Okay.
Like it's almost like somebody took a traditional tattoo artist and bathed them in LSD. And then, I mean, it's his stuff is so, it's nutty.
I think that the other part of my plan was the fact that, man, maybe I would be able to get some stuff off of some guys that are West Coast or whatever that I, typically wouldn't get to see unless I travel.
Absolutely. That's why.
Like local guys like Eric Perfect or, Sailor Eddie Jr. Like there's people around locally I could go to, at any time. But like other dudes like, like Dana Brunson.
Yeah.
Jack Rudy. Like some of those people that I will never get to see unless I travel. Which, man, I mean, hopefully that someday this channel actually takes off and that would be a thing that could happen. That would be freaking awesome because then I would be like, man, I'd love to devote.
Buck means we.
Buck
means we would be getting tattooed all over the world.
I would love to be able to devote, travel to different areas to interview, artists from all over, man. Not even just in the United States, man. There's like people in Canada, the UK, Australia. There's like a, pretty solid list of people that I'd love to maybe go to Spain and get tattooed by drag. I mean, what the hell?
We've never asked that question. Have we ever? I don't think we have. Anybody. If you could get tattooed by anybody.
Yeah, we did. And I don't.
We did once.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ask these guys?
I think we did. If you could get tattooed by anybody in the world, who would you go to? Right now, throw it in chat. I don't know if I have necessarily one singular person. I'm greedy like that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would have to really think hard about that, dude. Because I like a lot of different tattoo artists. And if you're making me pick just one of them, I don't know, it'd be a tough pick, man. There's a lot of different dudes out there that I would be like, You know what I mean?
It's funny. If I won the lottery, I actually have 3 people that I wouldn't be, not necessarily be tattooed by them, but I would give them lots and lots of money to watch them work.
So Sarah said there's a guy in Montreal named Hans Laurier, and I'd love to go to him. Drag said Gakin, Gakkin, and Nisacco.
Osaka?
Nisacco. And Verbena Shiro 2.
So Drag likes the Japanese work.
Yeah, apparently. That's cool.
Drag, would you get tattooed with Tabori style? If you could, would you get the stick done?
I'd like to try that too, actually.
Oh, you ever seen it?
Yeah.
Ouch.
I wouldn't mind. I would like to either try that or I would like to do the tap. The tap technique. I almost did it at Philadelphia Convention like 3 years ago.
The tap technique?
Yeah, there was a chick there that was doing it, and there was one of her people was like like working the crowd, so to speak, and I was like, hey, how bad does that hurt? And the girl looked at me and she's like, you're covered in tattoos, dude. What do you think? And I go, well, I what I'm asking is, does it hurt worse than a regular machine? And she was like, I actually think it hurts less. And I think she was lying to me, so I did it. But I don't know. I'd like to try it, see what it's like. Nikki said, I'd like to go to Hawaii and get a personal hand poke. So, yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story of Mike Malone and the Hawaiian Tribal? That's one of my favorites. I probably told it to you. That's the trouble with hanging out with me is you probably hear the same stories again and again. Mike Malone worked in Honolulu, and in the 70s, he created a sheet of Hawaiian Tribal. And he tattooed there for so long that by the time he left Hawaii, he was tattooing the grandkids of the people that he had originally tattooed, and they were coming in being like, "Oh, I want some of that classic Hawaiian tribal like my granddad had." Unbeknownst to them, yeah, it was Malone just sort of came up with it. He took some different influences from different cultures.
Ironically enough, that is a perfect segue into our next conversation for tonight. So
The personal sigil.
when I was trying to do trying to get some stuff to talk about other than the pet tattoo thing, there was this article I came up with that apparently was it Gen Z? Gen Z's the new group. Their big thing that they're trying to do right now is this tattoo, and I'm gonna show it to you real quick.
The thing that Gen Z is trying to do now.
It's called, hold on, cyber sigilism.
Cyber sigilism, everybody.
And it is basically this new confound version of tribal.
I'll be right back.
So I saw a bunch of different pictures of it, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I've seen this before somewhere, but okay. And then they went on to say how much, not only are they doing this type of tattoo, but now they're also going and they're doing what they're calling the new Y2K tramp stamp of this cyber sigilism. And I'm thinking, you know how we often talk about how tattooing goes through the ebbs and flows and it always comes back around full circle. So has it come back full circle at this point? Because so Sarah says, I know artists that do that style and people who have gotten it.
So,
It is starting to be popular.
years ago, these were just literally computer-generated tribal images. And there were thousands of sheets of these. Just literally, there's no tribe that has anything like that.
And look at the copyright of that.
What's the copyright?
1996.
1996.
But this is the new, this is the new thing. This is the new. And this is some of the Gen Zers' comments about it.
Sweet. Yeah. Look
As
at the
a
prices
Gen
on this.
Z, I'm in inner emo and love cyber sigilism. I mean, this person is saying, me with my cyber sigilism tramp stamp booked on Wednesday. So, isn't it funny how a couple years ago everybody was laughing about people with the so-called tramp stamps, which, ironically enough, just so everybody out there knows, and this came straight out of the mouth of Baba, who is a very well-known tattoo artist out in California. He said flat out, tattoo artists never called him a tramp stamp. Why would they use such a degrading name to call it a tramp stamp? It was a money-making machine for them. It was the jealous women that came up with the name of tramp stamp, not
Yeah.
the tattoo artists. But now they're using it like that's the cool thing to do. There's people, comment after comment about, tell me why I have a cyber sigilism tramp stamp. And then there's the new, or the older generation that is like, they're going and making comments like, I have no idea what cyber sigilism is. Me, a millennial, Googling cyber sigilism. I had to look it up because I was what the hell?
Is it cyber sigilism because it's computer generated specifically? Is it an AI generated design?
I don't know. I probably should have looked that up, but
Because that's what they were. So at any given tattoo shop in the 90s, there might be like real tribal. There might be a couple of examples of like Samoan tribal or some kind of like southeastern Polynesian tribal or something like that. But the majority of it were really just random black computer generated tattoos. And there was a wrestler named Goldberg, and he had one, and so I made a lot of money off of the Goldberg tribal tattoo. Okay. It resembles circuitry and organic forms. Intricate patterns that resemble a mix of circuitry and organic forms.
I mean, there were some that I saw that looked like somebody got hit with a lightning bolt. And I don't mean that in like a lightning bolt, like what we would think a lightning bolt, but I mean like an actual bolt of lightning. With
Whatever do you mean, Buck?
The branches and the craziness coming off of it. I'm not gonna say it didn't look cool. I'm like, I just don't understand how you're gonna sit there and make it like it's this new thing when obviously we just showed you Flash from 1996 that looked exactly like it.
So
I think it's this whole need to recreate.
So I was in Fishtown one time having dinner, and our waitress had a line tattooed from her shoulder about to the mid part of her upper arm. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the deal was with that. And one of my friends that I was eating with, another tattooer from Philly, was like, "Oh, well, she's a hipster. That she's cool enough to be tattooed, but she's too cool to have a tattoo that has any form." Do you understand? That's why she has a black line tattooed on her, because she's too cool to have like any kind of image, because she's more hip than that, but she's hip enough to be tattooed. And I thought to myself, yeah, well, there we go.
There was a time where I was in college and I was going to school for my degree.
Uh-huh. And I saw a Tasmanian devil in the distance.
No. That was after high school.
And he called to me.
They were so we went to you're a dick. We went to the art museum in Philly.
Right?
And you're walking around and you're checking out paintings.
To the Tasmanian devil.
And there's cool paintings and whatever, and some of them look cooler when you're standing further away, and some are cooler when you're standing close, and yada yada yada, right? And there was these two like pretentious dickbags standing there, like they stopped short of having like a pipe in their mouth with a tweed jacket on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were staring at this painting, talking about like how this is the most dramatic thing I've ever seen, the existentialism of it all. Dude, they're using words I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, dude. But they were just like it was the greatest thing ever. Do you know what the painting was?
What?
A giant piece of fucking graph paper.
Cubism.
That's not
Bauhaus.
even cubism, dude.
Bauhaus.
How are you sitting there talking like it's the greatest painting? There's Rodin and Monet, Count de Monet, and all these other paintings in here. And you're sitting here talking about how this piece of graph paper, essentially that's what it was. Some artist took a giant, 11-foot by 11-foot piece of white canvas, sat there with a ruler and went 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches this way, and just went, all right, connect, and made a piece of graph paper and threw it up there as art. I don't get it, dude. I don't get art. It reminds me of the one IKEA commercial where she's like, where the husband is sitting in the couches with all the pillows, and she's like something about like, honey, where are you at? I'm in the abstract art. I don't even like abstract art, but I don't know why, but I really like it. And you're like, and I'm thinking to myself, do people like shit just so they could look cool?
Did you ever read Breakfast of Champions by Vonnegut?
Dude, no.
You like Tool.
Ask me how many books I've ever read, front to back.
Really?
I seriously, I don't know how I graduated from college, dude.
So anyway,
I'm just not a big reader. I have ADHD so bad that I'm like 3 lines in. Ooh, squirrel.
So anyways, there's a scene in Breakfast of Champions where a painter is standing in front of his painting. It's a blue field with a yellow line through it. And the one character is really giving him the piss about what is this piece of garbage. And he says, well, it's emptiness and the light of your soul permeating from the center of the universe to your body. And I remember reading that and thinking, like, I was really sort of moved by that there really are people that think like that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not one of them. I like the Ramones. But there really are people that, like, could see a simple image like that and be somehow moved by the meaning of it. And then there are pretentious dickbags.
And you're reading Kurt Vonnegut?
Oh, yeah, Kurt Vonnegut. Absolutely. Slaughterhouse-5.
And it took me like a week to read Rufus the Big Red Dog. I don't know. I'm just saying. Clifford. Yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Took me a week and a half.
Yeah, first means of escape.
No, I mean, look, I've read like the Odyssey and To Kill a Mockingbird and
You've read the Odyssey?
Yeah. It was actually one of my favorite books.
I would say that's a pretty impressive. Yeah.
Okay. You me. To me, man, like if I can't get into it, I just get super distracted right off the bat, and I just can't finish it. It's got to grab me from right at the beginning, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. It's part of my whole ADHD thing that I got, man. What's worse is I love history, obviously. I'm doing history episodes and stuff on here. But even then, I got to do like a little snippets at a time because the worst for me, as much as I love World War II, if I'm reading something, like especially about World War II, and they're talking about, 10 different generals at the same time, and I got to keep track of all the names, forget it, dude. Forget it. Just put the book down because I can't keep track in my mind because I'm reading the book and I'm thinking about something else while I'm reading. It's just it's bad, but nah, man. I mean, I wish I was better read as a person, but hey, I graduated from college. So
there you go.
Did something right.
I quit high school.
There you go. But here's the thing though is I'm not even bashing this tattoo. I'm not bashing the style. But to make it seem it's almost like the Mark Malone thing that you were just talking about.
The Mike Malone.
Mark Malone. Jesus. Mark Malone was the worst quarterback the Pittsburgh Steelers ever had. And those are years that hurt me as a Steelers fan. I know you don't do football, but yeah, so it's the same thing as the Mike Malone thing.
So to go back to the music metaphor.
Okay.
Right? So I've always felt like the reason that music changes is because no one wants to listen to the same thing that their older brothers listen to.
Okay.
Everybody wants to recreate a new form of music or have a form of music that's, they originated.
So let me ask you a question.
Right.
I agree with that. Right.
That's why there's
always a style change.
Right.
To be honest with you, man, I could not stand any of the hair bands. So when Nirvana came out and squashed all that, I was jumping for joy because during that time frame, I was listening to none of that crap, dude.
I saw Motley Crue.
I don't understand. See,
Shout at the devil.
I liked Motley Crue when Shout at the Devil, but the minute you're a hard rock or heavy metal band and you write a ballad, you're cut off, dude.
But you understand what the ballads were for. Remember that ballad, More Than Words? Right? You know why More Than Words was a popular song? Because it got you laid. That's why. Because metal chicks loved More Than Words. You know what I mean? It's like
you never heard Slayer do a goddamn ballad.
It's like The Cure. Does any guy like The Cure? Or did you just listen to The Cure because hot gothic chicks listen to The Cure?
I'm just saying. There's certain bands out there that have killed their careers by changing their style.
Yeah, I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Kill me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's not where I would have went with that. I was thinking more along the lines of, Metallica, Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah, everything after Master Puppets, it's not Metallica anymore.
Everything after Injustice for All.
Master Puppets. Once Cliff died, that was it.
Dude, I don't understand, man. I don't see, part of that too is it's like I understand the need to change as the time goes by. Like, I don't like any, I was going to say I don't like any hippie music, but there are some, I guess, some of those bands that I'm okay with. But yeah, there needed to be a change. Cool with that. So hard rock, heavy metal came about. I mean, I liked rap when it first came out. I thought rap was awesome when it first came out. And then when they stopped rapping to where it was like rhyming over the beat, that's where it lost me. Because it sounded like now you're just talking over a beat.
So
I'm probably just pissed off a shit ton of people by saying that, but whatever.
There's bands that you're a true fan of, right? There's bands that have gone through musical changes and have grown the way people grow over the course of their life, that you like the stuff they first did and you like the newest stuff they did. Whereas if you were a more casual fan of that band, like for me, it's Social Distortion. Like, I like everything from Hard Times and Nursery Rhymes, which is like a slower sort of almost country album, to Mommy's Little Monster, which is their first punk album. Because I'm a true fan of that band. But I can understand where people that only like Mommy's Little Monster are like, they fucking suck and they sold out. But there's bands like that for you, right? Where you've grown and changed with them. Or no?
I'm trying to think of one. Honestly, dude, I think to be honest with you, the biggest one off the top of my head was I was a huge Metallica fan when I was a kid, man. And then that whole Black Album came out, and I was like, bro, you cut your hair, you're writing soppy chick songs. Enough with you. Hello, Dave Mustaine, Megadeth. Look, if you started out that way, cool. Okay. I mean, dude, there's certain bands out there that aren't heavy that I like. I like Keen and,
So Rush, right?
Yeah.
By the end, right? What did Rush have? Like 58 albums? Like 162 albums? So, like, by the end, the music they were making was not Fly By Night by any means.
They lost a lot of definite fans throughout the years.
But you stuck with them, right?
I stuck with them until probably Presto. And matter of fact, one of my favorite albums is an album you cannot stand.
What?
I knew you were going to say what. It's the red one. It's got the red balls on it.
Yeah, no.
Hold Your Fire, I think.
Hold Your Fire.
I love that album, dude. But that's because somebody's got a horrible sounding Harley.
Where they got a fart box in a Honda.
Yeah. That's because that album, to me, though, is like I associate it with a certain time in my life. And I think that's why I like it. But Sarah said, I hate when characters have names that start with the same letter. Damn that ADHD. Yeah, so,
like Tolkien, right? Like Sauron, Saruman, right?
I've never read a Tolkien
Theoden, Theodred.
Never read a Tolkien book.
Even like Game of Thrones, everything was the thing of the thing.
Dude.
Did you ever notice that?
So wait.
Thing of the thing.
Wait. I had a hard time with the whole Game of Thrones thing. Like, I would literally be like, I'm like, I got to do the recap every week, right? But started watching the Game of Thrones, and I watched the very first episode, and I'm kind of getting into it. And probably like the first scene, all of a sudden there's this little midget dude with the hookers in the pub. And I'm like, what do you have me watching right now, man? With the little dude. I don't know what his name is.
Tyrion.
Yeah. I mean,
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, man, I've never read a Tolkien book either. I just, you know what? Like, I did read, so I love the movie Trainspotting.
Right.
I honestly feel like they should show that movie to every kid that's growing up to go, here's why you don't do heroin, kids, and make them watch that movie.
You know what my favorite...
It does not celebrate it.
My favorite part of that movie is?
What's that?
After the baby dies, right? The mom... So after the baby dies, they all go over to get loaded again, and Ewan McGregor gets his shot first. Like, fuck you, your baby just died. I need to get high. I've never seen such an honest portrayal of drug addiction in my life.
Yeah, I mean, that movie's strong, man. And you know what's crazy is, so I read Trainspotting, the book.
Was that Palachuk?
No, it's the guy that actually did the movie. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he's from Scotland. And what's crazy is he actually writes with a Scottish accent. So you're reading the book and you have a Scottish accent because you're reading it the way they say it. And then also they did the movie Trainspotting 2, which with the book, the second book was called Porno. And it's a little different than the movie's a little different than the book, but it's really good too, man. It's funny because like I said, he writes with a Scottish accent. So you're reading it to yourself, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm speaking like I got a Scottish accent. But then they also go in the back, they put
a glossary.
Yeah, of words that they say that are different here or wherever you live. That you know what I mean?
It's like the book Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
They talk in the
like skag and all that. Yeah. So you're just like, oh, okay. But nah, man, I think that tattooing and music are so comparable on so many different levels, and I think that's why there's styles out there for everybody, man. That's why there's guys that are like yourself that are like you want to do traditional American traditional stuff per crack. There's those guys they're the American traditional guys, and then there's those people out there that are just like I want to do the Japanese stuff. And that's what they excel at, and that's what they want to do. Or, there's the people that do the realism, or, like the Jack Rudy's and the Freddie Negretti's of the world that want to do black and gray, Chicano style work. It's, we did the episode last week of the red flag thing.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically enough, I saw this after the episode that we did. But somebody was like, one of my red flags is where I walk into a shop and the tattoo artist is like, I could do whatever tattoo. Any style you want. I'm like, why would you consider that a red flag? First off, I think that any good artist is going to tell you, hey man, that's out of my wheelhouse, or not maybe necessarily out of my wheelhouse, but beyond my capabilities.
Let's say out of my wheelhouse.
But what I think that this young dude didn't understand was walk-in shops before this whole you have to make an appointment and set up and da-da-da-da. Those guys could handle a multitude of different styles. They had to because, matter of fact, in the interview I did with Tattoo Tony, where he was in that shop down there with Gene Bernardo, that was a walk-in shop, and they had to do every style.
I mean,
if they didn't have it, they weren't working.
So I came up doing Japanese, American traditional, new school, lettering, and black and gray. I mean, not the biggest. I mean, the Japanese stuff, I did large-scale Japanese stuff and large-scale American traditional. But still, yeah, if somebody wanted somebody wanted a black and gray set of praying hands, I did them.
All right. So I think that we're at a point right now where we've kind of covered everything that we wanted to talk about tonight, and I want to make sure. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Nobody needs to see my stats. Let's get into these real quick.
So looking forward to the New York convention.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring these up, Rand, because we got some really cool stuff coming up. The New York City Tattoo Convention, we're getting ready to hit July, right? July 26th, 27th, and 28th. You and I will be there on July 27th, walking around for the majority of the day. Tons and tons of amazing tattoo artists that are going to be there. I highly recommend, if you're anywhere in the area, please try to check it out.
And also,
wait. Drag said he liked, and he didn't forget. Thank you for that. I forgot to ask everybody to like the thing tonight, so appreciate that, brother.
And so while that's going on as well, if you do go, felt like Joe Biden for a second. If you do go to the tattoo convention down on Ludlow Street, there's an exhibit of Tuttle's collection.
Yeah, the
called
Skull Collection.
The Skull Collection,
Yeah,
which looks pretty incredible.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw whoever's running Lyle Tuttle's thing. I saw them post up on that. Next up, after that would be
Pagoda City,
which is August. Let me fix that so you guys can see it. August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Pennsylvania. Another huge, very well-known tattoo.
A lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah, yeah. And then last but not least, in October, we will have the Norfolk Tattoo Expo, which I am so looking forward to, man. I cannot wait to talk to a bunch of these older guys. I'm actually going to reach out to, like, some people and see what I could get maybe set up prior. I would love to get some interviews, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, if I don't get any interviews, at least I'm going to get some new ink while I'm there.
Last week I was a little burnt out. Did I tell you the story about the girl choosing the guy's tattoo? Did I?
No.
No. Just real quick, right? A guy came up to the booth, a friend of Jesse's, and was like, "Oh man, I only got $50, right?" So I showed him this sheet of Owen Jensen stuff, little bangers about that big, and I said, "Listen, bro, I'll tattoo you for $50, but the way we're gonna do it is the first hot girl that walks by, she's gonna pick the design, and I'll do the design she picks for $50." And sure enough, I mean, I forget what shop she was from, but she was cute, man. She walked by, she picked, it was a sailor, a skull and a sailor hat, man. And the dude got it. The dude straight up, he got the tattoo done on his arm.
Gotta give him props for that, man. All right,
I love tattooing.
Thank you all for stopping out and joining us tonight and being a part of our big family, and it's greatly appreciated. And we will talk to you all next week. Hopefully we can get a little, type of discussion set up beforehand, and then we'll post it up so you guys can see what we're going to talk about. I know tonight was a little bit last minute, but hopefully you guys will join us next week. And we thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Stay safe.